This is a lecture on information system security. Today we are going to discuss Unit 1. So in Unit 1 we will first discuss the security attacks and security mechanism, and second topic will be the classical encryption technique. The third one will be the crypt analysis, and the last the stream cipher and the block cipher. Security attacks. There are mainly two type of security attack: the active attacks and the passive attack. So the active attacks, an active attack attempts to alter the system resources or affect their operations. So active attack involve some modification of the data stream or the creation of the false statement. So in the active attack, basically the attacker changes the message in the transmission, or the attacker may replace the messages with some false messages, or attacker may also alter the system resources by, or may affect their operation by overloading the resources with resources or the network with lots of messages. Passive attack. So, a passive attack attempts to learn or make use of information from the system but does not affect system resources. The passive attack are in the nature of eavesdropping on or monitoring of transmission. The goal of the opponent is to obtain information which is being transmitted. So basically, in the passive attack, the attacker try to listen to some conversation or try to intercept the conversation. Suppose the attacker may listen to a telephonic conversation, or the attacker may intercept the data which is transmitted on the network, but the attacker will not directly do any modification in the message or in the resources. So basically it does not affect the resources. The attacker basically listen and intercept the messages and information, and after obtaining this information, attacker just misuse this information. So, we are going to discuss the active attacks. So, the first active attack is the masquerade. So, the masquerade attack takes place when one entity pretend to be different entity. A masquerade attack involves one of the other form of active attack. So suppose, as shown in the diagram, the Lily and John are communicating over the network, and suppose there is an attacker Bob, and now the Bob pretend as the Lily and sending the messages to the John. So the masquerade basically happens by stalling the someone's ID and password. Suppose the attacker Bob somehow managed to know the Facebook ID or password of the Lily, and now Bob is behaving as Lily and sending the messages to John. Modification of the messages. So, modification of messages means that some portion of a message is altered, or that message is delayed or reordered to produce an unauthorized effect. For example, a message meaning allow John to read confidential file X is modified as allow Smith to read confidential file X. So in modification of messages, basically the attacker modifies the original messages. Suppose Lily and John are communicating, and suppose Lily is sending a message that sending a message to John mentioning that uh, transfer me 1000 rupees, and mention his account number. Suppose the Bob now intercept this message and now changes this account number by his own account number and send this to John. Now when John transfer the money now goes to the Bob's account, as Bob has intercepted the message and changed the message content. Now, repudiation. So, repudiation means either the sender or the receiver deny that he or she has not sent the message or received a message. For example, suppose a customer asks his bank to transfer an amount to someone and later on the sender denied that he had not made such a request. So this is repudiation. सो बेसिकली सेंडर या रिसीवर दोनों में से कोई एक बाद में ये मना कर सकता है कि उसने ये पर्टिकुलर मैसेज नहीं भेजा था या उसने पर्टिकुलर मैसेज नहीं रिसीव किया है. ठीक है, जैसा कि हम एग्जांपल में देख रहे हैं कि कस्टमर ने बैंक को कहा कि किसी एक अकाउंट नंबर स्पेसिफाई किया कि इस अकाउंट में आप इतना अमाउंट ट्रांसफ़र कर दीजिए. बाद में कस्टमर बोल रहा है बैंक को कि मैंने ऐसा रिक्वेस्ट आपको नहीं भेजा. ठीक है, दिस इज़ कॉल्ड रेपुडिएशन. नाउ रिप्ले अटैक. सो रिप्ले अटैक इन्वॉल्व्स द पैसिव कैप्चर ऑफ अ मैसेज एंड इट्स सब्सिक्वेंट transmission to produce an unauthorized effect. सो बेसिकली सपोज रिप्ले अटैक में ये होता है कि अटैकर ने कोई आईडी पासवर्ड चुरा लिया और नहीं, सपोज़ अटैकर ने मैसेज के साथ जो सेंडर ने की भेजा था और वो की रिसीवर के सामने सेंडर अपने आप को ऑथेंटिकेट करने के लिए यूज़ करता, उस की को अटैकर ने चुरा लिया. बाय इंटरसेप्टिंग द मैसेज की को चुरा लिया और उस की को देन लेटर ऑन उसने ट्रांसमिट किया रिसीवर को टू बिहेव लाइक अ ऑथेंटिकेटेड यूज़र, ऑथेंटिकेटेड सेंडर और ऑथेंटिकेटेड सोर्स. ठीक है, सो सपोज़ यहाँ पे बॉब जो है वो इंटरसेप्ट कर लेता है मैसेज ऑफ लिली और उस मैसेज में से जो की है, जो लिली अपने आप को जॉन के सामने ऑथेंटिकेट करने के लिए यूज़ कर रही है, उस की को बॉब ने चुरा लिया और बॉब ने फिर उस की को यूज़ करते हुए कुछ मैसेज जो है जॉन को भेजा. तो जॉन नाउ अंडरस्टैंड दैट दिस मैसेज हैज केम फ्रॉम द ऑथेंटिकेटेड यूज़र. Now, denial of service attack. So, this attack prevents normal use of communication facilities. This attack may have a specific target. For example, an entity may suppress all the messages directed to a particular destination, or another form of service denial is the disruption of entire network either by disabling the network or by overloading it by messages so as to degrade the performance. सो डिनाइल ऑफ सर्विसेज में क्या हो रहा है कि यहाँ अटैकर बॉब जो है वो नहीं चाहता कि लिली और जॉन जो है आपस में कम्युनिकेट कर पाए यूजिंग द इंटरनेट. सो उसने क्या किया कि ओवरलोड कर दिया इंटरनेट को विथ लोड्स ऑफ गिविंग लॉस ऑफ फॉल्स रिक्वेस्ट टू द सर्वर. तो फॉल्स रिक्वेस्ट देने की वजह से बार बार फॉल्स रिक्वेस्ट देने की वजह से जो हमारा सर्वर है वो मैसेजेस से ओवरलोड हो गया और हमारा सर्वर क्रैश हो गया. नाउ द क्लाइंट कैन नॉट एस्टेब्लिश एनी कम्युनिकेशन टू द सर्वर. Now the passive attack. So there are basically two type of passive attack: the release of message content and the traffic analysis. So release of message content. So in release of message content, the telephonic conversation or some electronic mail message or a transferred file may contains which may contain the sensitive or confidential information are leaked by some attacker or it is learned by some attacker. So suppose here Lily and John are communicating over the internet. So Bob has intercepted the messages sent by the Lily, and now Bob know all the confidential messages transferred between the Lily and the John. Traffic analysis. So the opponent could determine the location and the identity of communicating host and could observe the frequency and length of messages being exchanged. This information might be useful in guessing the nature of communication that was taking place. So in the case of traffic analysis, the attacker just try to determine something about the nature of the communication uh, by observing the location and identity of the communicating, by observing the frequency and the length of the messages which are exchanged over the network between the communicating entity. So by observing the frequency and the length of messages, attacker will try to determine the nature of communication or and the identity of the entities or the location of the entities. Security mechanism. So the all the security services like the authentication, the access control, the data integrity, all these security services are implemented by the help of security mechanism. The security mechanism are divided into those that are implemented in a specific protocol layer and those that are not specific to any protocol layer or security services. So the X.800 distinguishes between the reversible encipherment mechanism and the irreversible encipherment mechanism. So basically the security mechanism are divided into the two broader categories, that is a reversible encipherment mechanism and the irreversible encipherment mechanism. So in the first one, basically this is an encryption algorithm that allows data to be encrypted and subsequently decrypted. And in the irreversible encipherment, it includes the hash algorithms and the message authentication code, which are used in digital signature and message authentication application. So irreversible means through the coded data we cannot get the original data. Now the classical encryption techniques. So basically there are two type of classical encryption technique, the substitution cipher technique and the transposition cipher technique. So first the substitution cipher technique. So as the name denotes, the substitution, so in the substitution cipher technique, the letters of a plain text are substituted by other letters, numbers or symbol. Okay, but the position of the letter remain the same. In the transposition cipher technique, so transposition means the change of the position. So this technique rearranges the position of the plain text character. In transposition cipher technique, the position of the character is changed but the character identity is not changed. Now, one of the most basic substitution technique is the Caesar cipher. It is also referred as the Swift cipher. In this technique, the letter of the plain text are replaced by a letter which is three places down the line. So, suppose in plain text, the A letter will be replaced by D and the B will be replaced by E. So in this manner, three places down the line the letters will be replaced. So as shown in this picture, so A is replaced by D, B by E, and X by A, Y by B, and Z by the C. This is the technique of Caesar cipher. Now the simple substitution cipher. So it is an improvement to the Caesar cipher. So instead of shifting the alphabet by some number, this scheme uses some permutation of the letters in the alphabet. So in the simple substitution cipher, we can replace a letter by any of the another letter in. Okay, but the thing is that once we decide a particular scheme for a letter, then that particular scheme has to be followed for all the letters in the plain text. So suppose if we have decided that A will be replaced by some letter which is 10 places down the line, then in any occurrence of the A, this scheme has to be followed. So suppose with 26 letters in alphabet, the possible permutation are 26 factorial, so which is equal to 4 की power 10, 4 into 10 की power 26, means we have 26 factorial possibility for any particular letter to replace. So and this possibility is equal to 4 into 10 की power 26. The sender and the receiver may choose any one of each possible permutation as a ciphertext alphabet. This permutation is the secret key of this scheme. So as given in this example, suppose the E is replaced by I, then in all the occurrence of E, it is replaced by I. So security value. So the simple substitution cipher is a considerable improvement over the Caesar cipher, and the number of keys is large like 26 factorial, and even the modern computing system are not yet powerful enough to comfortably launch a brute force attack to break the system. However, the simple substitution cipher has a simple design and is prone to design flaws, say choosing obvious permutation. This crypto system can be easily broken. Means the basic disadvantage of the simple substitution cipher is that the simple substitution cipher follows the same scheme for a particular letter throughout the message or throughout the plain text. So once the attacker is able to decode this scheme, then after decoding this scheme, he can easily decode the message. So monoalphabetic and polyalphabetic cipher. So monoalphabetic cipher is a substitution cipher in which for a given key, the cipher alphabet for each plain alphabet is fixed throughout the encryption. So and the two methods that we have discussed earlier, that is the Caesar cipher and the simple substitution cipher, both fall in the category of monoalphabetic cipher, because the monoalphabetic cipher are those substitution cipher in which for a given key the cipher alphabet for each plain alphabet is fixed throughout the encryption. So suppose if A is encrypted as D, for any number of occurrence in the plain text, A will always get encrypted to D. So in the monoalphabetic technique, the ciphers are highly susceptible to cryptanalysis. Now the polyalphabetic cipher. So it is a substitution cipher in which the cipher alphabet for the plaintext alphabet may be different at different places during the encryption process. Now transposition techniques. So the first technique of transposition is the columnar transposition. So in this technique, the message is written in a predefined size of rectangle row by row. So we write the message in the rectangle row by row, okay, and for the output we read column by column as shown in this example. Now columnar transposition with multiple rounds. So in columnar transposition with multiple round, we just repeat the basic columnar transposition multiple times. The rail fence technique. So it is also called as the zigzag technique or zigzag cipher. In this technique, we just write the message in the zigzag manner and read the message row wise. So as shown in this example, our message is written in the zigzag format. The first letter is written in the first line, and the second letter is written in the second line in the diagonal direction of the first one, okay. So in this manner we write the messages and we read the messages row wise for the ciphertext. Now the Varnam cipher. So it is a method of encrypting alphabet text. In this mechanism, we assign a number to each character of the plain text, like A equal to 0, B equal to 1, C equal to 2, and Z equal to 25. Now in this method, we decide a key which is also called as one-time key. Now how the encryption happens. Assign a number to each character of the plain text and the key according to the alphabetical order. So in this example, the in this method, the one-time key is is has the same size as the message, okay, and both are converted to its numerical value. Now add both of the numbers of the plain text and the number of the key. And suppose if in the additional result, if some number is greater than 26, then we have to subtract that number from 26. So as shown in this example, we convert the plain text and the key in its corresponding numerical value, and after that we add both of the numerical value. And then if suppose the sum comes greater than 26, as happened here, so in ciphertext number, the first number is greater than 26 and the fifth number is, which is 29, is also greater than 26, then we subtract it 26 from these numbers, and now the final ciphertext number is achieved, and we convert this into the ciphertext, convert this into the corresponding alphabetical value, and we get the cipher text. So crypt analysis is the study of ciphertext, the ciphers, and the crypto system with an aim of understanding how they work and finding and improving techniques for defeating or weakening them. For example, the crypt analysis seek to decrypt ciphertext without the knowledge of the plain text source, encryption key, or the algorithm used to encrypt it. The cryptanalyst also targets secure hashing, digital signature, and other cryptographic algorithms. So basically, cryptanalysis involves the observation by a attacker. So the attacker basically observes the ciphertext, the ciphers, and the crypto system by an, so the aim of the attacker here is to either to decrypt the ciphertext without any knowledge of the plain text or the method used to encrypt the ciphertext, okay. Or the attacker also try to find some loophole into the crypto system, and now, the type of the crypt analysis: the classical attack, the social engineering attack, and the implementation attack. So, the classical attack are in the two categories: the brute force attack and the analytical attack. Now, what is the brute force attack? So, the brute force attack run the encryption algorithm for all possible cases of the key until a match is found. So basically the attacker to try try to use all possible type of key for a particular algorithm, okay, particular encryption algorithm. So here the uh, aim of the attacker is that can finally some key will finally break the encryption. Now, analytical attack. So, these are those attacks which focus on breaking the crypto system by analyzing the internal structure of the encryption algorithm. So, in analytical attack, the attacker basically analyze the internal structure of the encryption algorithm to break the crypto system. Now, the social engineering attack. So, engineering attack is basically dependent on the human factors. So, tricking the someone to reveal their password to the attacker or allowing access to the restricted area comes under this attack. So, people should be conscious about revealing their password to any third party which is not trusted. Now the implementation attack. So implementation attacks such as the side channel analysis can be used to obtain a secret key. They are relevant in cases where the attacker can obtain the physical access to the crypto system. Now the stream cipher and the block cipher. So both block cipher and the stream cipher are belong to the symmetric key cipher. These two block cipher and stream cipher are the method used for converting the plain text into the cipher text. So in block cipher, we are basically encrypting a fixed size block of data at a time. Okay, and this size of block of data may be the 64-bit block, a 128-bit block, or the 256-bit block. The method dependent on the block cipher are the DES, triple DES, AES, and the IDEA algorithm. The stream cipher. So a stream cipher is an encryption algorithm that encrypts one bit or byte of plain text at a time. So it uses an infinite stream of pseudo-random bits as the key. For a stream cipher implementation to remain secure, its pseudo-random generator should be unpredictable and key should never be reused. Stream ciphers are designed to approximate an idealized cipher known as the one-time pad. So stream in the stream cipher basically one bit at a time is encrypted, and for the encryption the stream cipher technique uses the concept of keys, and which keys should be random to ensure the security of the method. Thank you.